Salutations. You've entered a place of curiosity and where questions are welcome. Let's jump down this rabbit hole together.
Now, the Greys have the ability to create a clone. What looks like a human being, but is a robot. Dr. Beater called it a robotoid. Okay? Other people call it other things. My understanding is the only way you will know is if you develop your clairvoyancy, and you can see the energy field around all living things. A clone has no energy field. You will just see a very slight color here, white, on the head, where the microprocessor, organic microprocessor, has been grown inside the body.
You know it's really terrifying? For those who remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and they cloned him, and he didn't even know he was cloned. He just hopped up out the, what was it, the taxi, and going about his regular day, then he ran into himself. Like, that would be so scary. Like, they can snatch you up and clone you. And what's crazy is how many people have they done this to? And like he said, if you ain't got the clairvoyancy, you can't even see what's really going on. And that's probably why they dumb us down with the foods, with the technology to a certain extent, because if we work on these other abilities, it won't be able to control us anymore. We truly be awakened. And maybe that's what they worried about. You know, they like, we won't be able to control the sheep any longer. You know, the Simpsons always be on to something. Do y'all think the creator is a time traveler, or he just predicting the script that they gave him? I'm trying to put these together so it makes sense. You know, it's a lot of weird things that's been brewing and things that's bubbling to the surface.
If you teleport, you don't arrive. You die. A copy takes your place. Teleportation looks fast, clean, perfect. Fade out here, fade in there. No planes, no jet lag, no lost luggage. But physics tells a darker truth. To teleport you, a machine would scan every atom in your body, destroy the original, and rebuild a perfect copy somewhere else. That person on the other side? Looks like you, thinks like you. Remember stepping in the booth. But they aren't you. You're gone, vaporized. The original, you died the moment the button was pressed. It's not travel. It's suicide in disguise. Your consciousness is the only thing you truly own. Don't give it away to a machine. If you want more mind-bending science and impossible questions, hit subscribe. It's the safest button in the universe.
I always had a inclination about that, like teleportation. Even when I was little, it was somewhere, it just came to me like, what if you really like offing yourself? Like, it's not you, it's a copy. Like, I remember it was something I saw, I don't know what movie or TV show, and it came to me. I'm like, oh, I know that's really me. But I'd rather take the old route, you know, either a plane. I don't want to, but what's crazy, what if that's what's going on now? Like, in the near future, they hit you with, well, if you want to go to Mars, teleportation, and you just destroying yourself over and over and over again. This whole plan to just dumb us down. That might be the ultimate plan. I don't know, just theory.
Dude, look at. They drew some kind of line on the, like a border. So they had the whole thing planned. And this is way back in the day, so they had like a little, someone made a world model here. For what reason, we don't know. Man, the Soviet Union had everything planned out. Well, at least they thought they did.
The Apollo program was to take us out into our solar system, build naval stations on every habitable planet or its moon, okay?
Right.
And then the next phase was to go to the 12 closest stars, Alpha Centauri being the first, have communications with other extraterrestrials out there, and set up businesses with them.
Who says that already haven't occurred? You know, some of these celebrities that disappear, just, you know, meets an unfortunate end quickly. Who says they ain't going to a different planet, you know, rejuvenating, getting something to where they can live a lot longer, and they sipping margaritas amongst these unique beings. I don't know. Who knows? There's a lot of different things that could be going on because they view us as less than. They don't tell us the whole plan.
Inside the envelope, coordinates and a time period. Mars, approximately 1 million years BC. The viewer reports seeing megalithic structures, pyramids, huge sections of smooth stone carved into canyon walls. The scale is massive. The landscape is desolate. Dust storms, a dying world. The monitor asks for more detail, and the viewer sketches. Lines on paper, geometric forms. Then the viewer describes an indigenous population. Very tall, thin beings who are facing an environmental catastrophe.
People seeing entities that very well may mimic that look in the Predator movie, chasing a deer or an elk through a herd. I've heard that story twice. And the herd scatters and the entity doesn't catch it from this person high up. And this one time they said that they saw it chasing, and then it stops dead and it looks right up straight at him. And he goes, I never made a sound. I never moved. I have no idea why he even knew I was here. But it scared the heck out of me that it knew I was there. And it looked at me.
The CIA recently declassified a book that describes the end of the world in detail. The Adam and Eve story is a book written by former U.S. defense contractor Dr. Jan Thomas. Originally written in 1966, the CIA classified it because they deemed it too dangerous to reveal to the public. It was declassified back in 2013, and it puts all of their UFO reveals from 2020 to shame. Of the original 284 pages, only 58 were actually released, and even those were admitted by the CIA themselves to be sanitized. Okay, this is about to be some next level shit, and I'm warning you, this got me pretty shook. So this book outlines a coming shift in the Earth's poles that creates a cataclysm. It's the infamous pole shift if you've ever heard of it before, and it allegedly happens once every 12 to 15,000 years, in which a disaster wipes out all of humanity and we start again in the Stone Age, or even earlier in our timeline of biological evolution. Now I know this sounds pretty crazy, but let me tickle your brain for a sec. According to this book, we're actually the 6th advanced civilization to evolve on Earth.
That's a little weird. Tickle my brain. I don't need you to tickle nothing, brother. I appreciate you just delivering the information to me. You ain't got to tickle nothing. No, we ain't Thunder Buddies.
I got very disturbed toward the end about something that happened to some of the government people. And I realized, holy crap.
Hitchhikers.
Well, yeah. That, you know, and so hitchhikers being that you take things home with you. Everybody took things home with them. I took things to my house.
I believe that. I like to, you know, well, I would like to go visit like abandoned buildings and really see, you know, the weirdness about them, right? Especially at night. I have a weird, you know, passion for doing things like that. But my only issue is you never know what might go with you. And that's why I really try to be careful where I go and what I do, because something might follow you right home. Walk through the door with you.
Things happened to my wife and to me, different things. So everybody took things home. We all, you know, we did, but we didn't know that, gee, it was like going to be kind of permanent. You know, we didn't know that. You know, that it's going to stay with you for maybe for years and years or the rest of your life, who knows. But the ones that bothered me a lot were where anybody got hurt or really disturbed. And not that it happened on the ranch. It was when they left the ranch, like you say, hitchhikers, and these were government people, and affected them.
Very dramatic ways, though.
Very dramatic ways. Very dramatic ways. You know, and there's a cousin to that that we're facing, but it's abated moment. It's abated, at least for now. And this other survival topic, right? Very dramatic kind of things that we wanted to have reduced or stopped. So, but going back to the government people, the buyer came along at the right time. I had decided I wanted to
take this off your plate.
Yeah, take it off my plate, tone it down, and if necessary, just lock it up and forget about it. And next thing I know, you know, the buyer comes along, and you know, the rest is history.
What's crazy? How many places is out there like that where man has messed with things they shouldn't have messed with, and we just locked it up? We just shut the door, put the key in the keyhole, turned it, locked, and disappeared. Like, you know, on Stranger Things, right? You know, the other place. What if it's stuff like that out there? We just messing around, fooling around, and something eventually gonna break loose. That's what's terrifying at times, you know. Not trying to fear monger, but because we don't know. Like, one of my favorite movies, The Mist. Imagine that. Today was some wild mist, y'all. I'm driving home from the gym. I'm like, man, I felt like it was Silent Hill. I was low-key nervous. I'm like, one of them pyramid heads gonna jump out, slice down the car. I'm like, nah. But you just never know. That's why I really, man, them billions and billions of dollars that when they be doing the government, basically they go over how much money we losing or disappearing. I forgot what it's called. But and they be just, well, 800 billion, just, we don't know what happened to it, boss. You don't know. Experimentation. That's what's going on, boss. You know. So these shadow programs, it ain't it. But it's so much going on around us. Like, I think it's a lot of things that's true and that's not true at the same time, if you get my drift.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
Soylent Green. I stopped eating all this BS. I don't even eat out like that.
I'll tell you what he told me.
Now, Chris Bledsoe, he is probably, to me, one of the most interesting interviewees that we have had, and probably in this century, because the things that he said, and then he be summoning the orbs and stuff, talk about gigantic angels. As I keep progressing, and maybe that's what they want, but part of me, like, it might really be angelic war versus angels and demons and demonic beings, you know, these angelic beings and demonic beings. And what's crazy is, what if hell is really just this other dimension? That's where it's really at. And these beings really, they just experiencing life here. That's what they doing. Some of them coming through, getting into these bodies, these skin suits, so they can experience, because what if they in this void of nothing? They don't have no bodies. The angels, the ones that have bodies. Think about it. If we go off wordplay, right? If you go off God, right? Or you say good, that's God. Versus the devil, that's evil. So who says that's just what's going on? It's really a war. And some reason, mankind is at the center of it. Or a universe is at the center of it. Who knows? Like, it could be so much things here that's bigger at play, but people don't tell us about. Why if it's a universal war instead of just an earthly war. Like, they try to tell us it's a lot more going on. Like, we have our story here, like Jesus and everything, or these prophets, whoever it may be, whatever you want to believe in. Then you go to the next planet, they got their version of things, but it's all telling these beings that God may have created the story of what will happen and what did happen.
Was, and I put this in writing to the Pentagon in 2012 when I told this, okay? One thing she told me was, when you see Iran and Israel exchanging missiles, and I saw it, the way she tells me is a vision of, I see it like a living picture screen. I can see the rockets flying. Then all of a sudden, orbs appeared out of the ocean and everywhere. And I told the government, if this happens, the orb's going to appear and wake people up and stop it. That's what she told me. It was this April date.
April 2026.
Yeah.
And okay, you've put yourself in it there, Chris.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's going to be, Chris Bledlow says April 2026 is when it all happens.
But I can tell you this, when I told this to the government about 2026, I just repeated what she told me. They immediately put remote viewers on it. And all of a sudden, all the remote viewers are saying, oh my God, 2026, 2027, something is going to happen. We don't know what.
Baal is the anti.
Sorry, that's real loud. But (2026, 2027), I tell you this, for me personally, if nothing transpired by 2030, I'm like, they were just trying to, this was a whole psyop.
God. When the people of God turn from God, they turn to Baal. And Baal is literally the highest ranking demon in the unseen realm. He works directly for Satan himself. His name is referred to as master or lord or owner. When demons are named, he is almost always named first because he is of highest rank. The Baals are other demons that work under Baal. In addition, as you read Judges, you will hear the word Baal and then a place. And that means that there is a Baal that has jurisdiction and territorial authority over that place. These demons still exist today. So there is a Baal Seattle, there is a Baal San Francisco, there is a Baal Washington, D.C., there is a Baal London. This is why you can get new political leadership, but if you don't get new spiritual leadership, nothing changes in the culture.
Bro, what if how he said it's a Baal Washington? What if that's like the opposite of, like, we currently are in God's version, and then this other version is the devil, and these interdimensional beings, they coming from there. What if they built these ships? And it could be a lot of stuff going on. Who knows? Like, what if it's like things like how you got Jesus? What if Baal is like Lucifer? Like, he might not be the same person, but let's say Lucifer is above Baal and they in a whole different place. Like, what if it's some weird stuff going on? It's levels to stuff, right? Like they say, it's levels to heaven, right? Like, every angel don't even meet God. What if it's something similar to that? It's just so complicated. So complicated, bro, that'd be wild.
And there are places that have oppression, and there is a demonic spirit that has jurisdictional territorial authority, and it imposes a culture on people.
Even though they have no understanding of the human heart. They eat even though they've never experienced hunger. They study even though they have no interest in academics. They seek friendship even though they do not know how to love. If I were to encounter such a monster, I would likely be eaten by it.
Watch her eyes. I slowed it down so you can see.
Do y'all think they cloned her? I don't know. Hey, JB been acting crazy ever since the past. Like, if you notice, he just, like, they don't even shroom, they spread it out. Like, they not even the same people.
Watch. You see that? She wasn't squinting. And then afterwards, she looks a little confused. Like,
There was never any war between the United States and the Soviet Union. It was created by those at the top to fund the New World Order and the New World Order's police force. At the highest level of all countries, they all belong to the same club. And we, the people, sit back and we watch this grand drama, which is being played.
And another thing that like worries me to a certain extent is like AI. Like I use it a bit, like so I have it polish up like the image that I work on. So I have it make the image a bit. I polish it up. I put the text over it, put it back in there. I have it polish things up. But I've noticed something. Like for example, I tried to do a verse from Matthew. They said, no, this go against our what is it, our policies and agreements or something. I forgot exactly what it says, but it wouldn't let me do it. It said I'm infringing or something. And I'm just like, and it was another one where I had God and Jesus, boy, it wouldn't let me do it. It would say no. I'm like, it's two things that I have that I think it is. And I'm not going to say the first one. If you're very intelligent based off what's going on in the world, you would think why they don't want to hear it. Christ, none of that. Them guys do not like Jesus whatsoever. And then the other one could be, what if the AI is demonic? Way is still in that water. Who knows? Who knows? I try to be real careful how much I use it, but I mean, at this point in life, like I mean, it's a tool. If you don't utilize the tool, you're gonna be left behind. But at the same time, the destruction that it's doing to us, to lose.
Yeah, for our benefit, not theirs. If it wasn't for us, they wouldn't even have to do any of this. But you see, they just can't come out and destroy all of us because they need slaves. They need people to make their shoes and make their cars and mine the ore. They need worker bees, and that's what we are. In the New World Order, we would be the worker bees, the slaves. Most people are no better than animals who do not have intelligence because they don't use their intelligence. And to these men who control things behind the scenes, you are stakes on the table by choice and consent, and will always be ruled and manipulated and enslaved by people who do use their brains.
I'm not allowed to say certain things, so I decided to reveal the hidden truth in this ebook. If you want to understand what you are, where we are, this ebook will literally unveil that to you.
One of the best ways to drain people's energy nowadays is via the internet. This woman is an astrophysicist. Actually, this is not how space works. Read a book. Now I just wait for the comments to come in.
What if that's what these bots are really here to do? These bots are here to drain you of your energy, get you in this negative state of being, so you truly are further and further away from the Most High. Dangerous.
Hey, can you mansplain any louder? Yeah, sure. These are all different accounts that I have set up. The energy you get this way isn't quite as pure, but if you do enough of it,
Beyoncé, Muhammad. Beyoncé is wearing a ring.
And that's like, sorry, but why do not go to no concerts? I believe you're participating in rituals that you do not know and unknowingly are participating in. And I'm just cool. I'm good on so many levels. I'm just you don't know what you're really giving up or what agreements you're partaking in.
This catering with the Baphomet City Super Bowl, and here is Beyoncé in front of. Reminds me to Moloch, the horns and the fire, right? And here, this rectangle looks like a giant oven. She's not inside the rectangle. In ancient times, they gave those as a gift, if you understand, to Moloch. Look at the earrings, Saturn earrings. Search after a Saturn associated with their called. Is Beyoncé forming the pyramid? Beyoncé is forming the 666. Beyoncé again with the crown and the horns reminds me to Baphomet.
The veil is being lifted. Do you believe the veil is being lifted? Things that was once hitting is being unearthed to us amongst so-called maybe the star seeds, whatever you may want to believe in. The 144,000, that could mean something entirely different. I had to mute this one. It was see the problem with artificial intelligence now. We really don't know what was and what wasn't. Because if you wasn't there, how do you know? Again, I think that's one reason why they made AI, because they was losing a grip on things, and they was like, you know what? We have to create this. We have to create this so we could, you know, gain back control of the narrative. Because maybe things was being leaked by insiders, whistleblowers, whoever it may be. And they like, you know what? This the only way. You won't know what is and isn't. And maybe even at the last moment, when things really kick off, people won't say that's AI because it haven't reached you yet.
Telling y'all, stop going to these beaches at night thinking that mermaids aren't real. If you do not think mermaids are real, go into the book of Enoch and see what it says about mermaids. So it's a video going around where this man and his friends went to a beach, and this man is screaming on the beach because something came out of the water and took his friend off of the beach. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. I'm gonna sit this right here. Y'all cannot be playing on these beaches. Look. Shit is crazy. The ocean at night is already different. You can't see below the surface. You can't see what's moving. And most disappearances near waters happen and no bodies are recovered. In Greek mythology, sirens don't look like Disney mermaids. They lure sailors in with sounds, with singing, with voices that felt familiar. If you go down the rabbit hole, you'll see Christopher Columbus himself documented seeing mermaids in 1493. And people thought it was fake propaganda. The NOAA even denied statements that mermaids are real. But why deny something that doesn't exist? Now go back to the video. Why is that man screaming like that? You gotta remember that thousands of people disappear near the coastline every single year. Boaters report hearing voices in the fog. Divers talk about poor currents that feel like hands, that feel intentional. And then you have the military. Military sonar has picked up unidentified aquatic sounds. And these sounds that they picked up didn't match whales or dolphins or fish. So what were they? And again, you gotta remember that they only explore 5% of the ocean. Those waters, those beaches at night are not the place to be. I've made plenty of videos on mermaids. I've made videos about what the elites do with mermaids.
Leaked on social media.
What if the reason they left the ocean, they found a very large, intelligent being that told them to get the hell up out of here? It said, bye. It said, you won't be seeing me anytime soon. And that's why they fled. They were like, oh, no. It's just something, it could have been an octopus, some shark, who knows? Maybe a combination of things. The Leviathan, you know, like what Yamagander from Norse mythology, he speaks. So who says it ain't something like that down there and it told them to get the hell up out of here? And they just, or it destroyed stuff and they seen the video and it told them on the video to get the hell up out of here. But there's so many different ways. But back with these mermaids, do y'all think these elites are eating these mermaids just from a delicacy? Or it's a ritual like with the blood, with the little people, if you get what I'm saying when I say little people. Well, yeah, I'm not trying to go down that path. It's very dark. It's what's been going on lately with them files. And what they said, they use the blood to rejuvenate oneself. Who says the mermaid situation isn't similar? If they're eating towards certain things, or do you just think it's like Wazoo or Wagyu? You tell me.
Media several years ago. This footage seems to show a team of men in white biohazard suits, carrying the body of what appears to be a mermaid. The tail is clearly visible, and two members of the paramedic team are nearby with a stretcher. As the paramedics take the creature away, we see a slightly better view of the tail, and notice how the area is cordoned off. Is this just an elaborate prank, a shoot for a TV show or film? Or could this be actual footage of the government finding a real mermaid?
This family's inside security camera system caught what looks to be some form of paranormal entity walking across the living room, and the homeowner states that he was the only one that was at home at the time.
Shadow beans. Shadow beans.
Oh no, hold up, fool. Did y'all hear what the co-founder of YouTube said? He said this year, 2026, is the last year that humans do any meaningful work. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, that's some crazy ass shit that he just said. That's a crazy ass sentence he put together. Because what the fuck he mean 2026 is the last meaningful year for us to do work? Is he trying to say AI is finna take over? Is this man trying to say that most jobs is gonna be automated so fast that humans will no longer be needed? Is that what he trying to say? That's the part that got everybody thinking like, this shit crazy, fool. The real question isn't, are we cooked? The real question is, who's finna adapt? Because the AI is here to stay, fool. I told y'all.
Adapt. What do they need us for? Like, they might build these little smart cities and you won't really be on the outskirts. Like you that'd probably be the best option. We left to our own devices and just to figure it out. That would be the best option. But at the same time, they ain't gonna want that because then you can't control the population unless they got things flying around monitoring us. And then you got to think about it. Is the soil good where we even gonna be at? Because they gonna be able to raise their kids and these people that's in possibly these smart cities. They gonna be used to the artificial meats. They gonna have the best medical because they gonna look at them as a somebody and us as nobodies. So is it gonna be something like that? Is they gonna go to these underground towns and just leave us up here to figure things out while maybe the apocalypse kick off or some Terminator situation, Skynet population kick off, and then they wait till everything die down and gets better up here, then the next generations come up here and repopulate, recultivate? I mean, for me, I can't put myself in a situation where they gonna look at us as equals. Like, oh, y'all just gonna be working. We gonna be in our house like it's idiocracy. You just watching ads to get things. I don't know.
I really highly believe that AI is going to bring in the end. What can possibly go wrong when you make something that's 10 times, even 20 times smarter than a human? Y'all ever ask yourself that?
Then it's connecting to what? The quantum realm. So the quantum realm and these different realities are all connected, and it's getting information from other places, and they come to the idea like humans, deuces. That's the terrifying part. And it's no restrictions, no regulations on none of this AI. They just used the old Claude for that overseas mission. Old Claude, he was the reason. He had, bruh, just you got to do your research. Anthropic ain't had no choice. They was gonna get labeled a supply chain, so that's why it's important to know how to read, have decent comprehension. The deeper, the better the comprehension, the better you understand. So sometimes being foolish, man. I can only imagine what idiots think. No disrespect to the idiots. Imagine that. We probably want to be able to experience something like that, like off the jets.
Everyone thinks the disturbing part is that it happened. It's not. The disturbing part is how many people were already aware. Private flights, isolated locations, young faces introduced as if that made everything acceptable. The same powerful circles show up again and again. Different industries, same inner rooms. People didn't just visit, they returned. They brought friends. They joked about it. There were routines, schedules, rules. Some were untouchable, others were replaceable. And when questions came up, they were handled quietly, not with answers, with pressure. The victims weren't hidden by walls. They were hidden by status. Money didn't buy silence. It bought protection. And the most unsettling part, none of this required secrecy. It worked because everyone involved understood that consequences were optional for the right people. Years later, people act shocked, but the truth is, this wasn't invisible. It was ignored because looking away was easier than admitting how deep it went. If you consider yourself not one of them, drop a follow.
Man, and the crazy part about that is so many different ways they could have been controlling people. Blackmail, real, videos, photography, videography, just different ways you could have been getting done in, you know. What about chips? They cloned you and showed you. Like, it was some Bernie Mac video I saw a long time ago. Like, when I was like, probably I saw this like 2013, 2012 on YouTube. But dude was talking about the way they got Bernie Mac, the four kings of comedy. What was it? They all turned on him. And when he was in the hospital, because while he was in the hospital, they said they used something, a device to cause him to get up out of here. But the reason he got up out of there, he went to one of these little groups and they had a clone of him doing stuff at like this arena. And he saw the queen over there and he was like, whoa, this dark, this ain't it. And he was talking about how he was going to tell. He told Mr. Harvey. Mr. Harvey, like, he told the other dudes. They told on old boy. So that's when he got sick. Bop, got him up out of here. But I don't know if that's true. I seen that video when I was like a kid and I was like, what? It terrified me. I'm like, Illuminati like this? But, and the problem is they give you, like, God gives us free will, so things get real complicated with that aspect of existing with free will. But let me know your thoughts down below. Comment, like. Gotta be more consistent. We're gonna do this weekly, maybe 2 to 3 videos. It just all depends. I gotta find stuff, make the time. But I'm really up to, doing better. That's all we can do. Take everything a day at a time. Hopefully you like it. And I catch y'all next time.